Hello there guys, my name is Stephen and welcome to my channel where I review films every single week, including some of the films that you love and some maybe that aren't quite as good. But anyway, if you are new to this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a video, and get involved in the comments below. Make sure to drop a like in this video if you're a fan of the content. But anyway, let's get into today's film review. Now, I've just got back from the cinema where I've seen the most beautifully animated film I've seen in a long time, How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World, the finale potentially in DreamWorks' absolutely stunning 3-part series, and a film I genuinely very enjoyed. I'll give you that off the bat, but it's a fantastic little film, and let's take a closer look at it.
Oh my god, he's not the only one.
She's a light fury.
Oh, sorry.
Did she just disappear?
Now, this was absolutely majestic. I genuinely loved this film. It wasn't a perfect film by any stretch of the imagination, but I walked out of that, and I'm still grinning right now. I walked out of that a very happy person. It was beautiful, it was graceful, it was fun, it was adorable, and most importantly, there was a lovely, important message behind this film. I'm going to start with some of the positives of this film. Firstly, it's beautifully edited, beautifully animated, and a beautifully realised world. More than the first two, which both had their strong points in terms of visual marvel. This film in particular had some moments that were absolutely spellbinding to look at. Now, I sat in front of an absolutely huge screen in the cinema watching this, and at times I was sat there aghast with my mouth wide open at the splendour on the screen. Some of the particular shots, the dragons flying around the ocean and the sky, they looked almost kind of photorealistic at times, and as a result it created this incredible immersiveness to the film that made me sit there and absolutely take it all in awe. I can only imagine how good it would have felt if I was a child watching that. I would have been genuinely in another world, a hidden world, not for lack of a pun there, but I went for it anyway. This film was absolutely majestic, full of colour. It popped from every single corner of the screen, and when we finally got to the hidden world, it was absolutely stunning. A lava lamp, a fluorescent colour. My only kind of criticism of that bit is that we didn't get to see enough of it, because when we were there, it was almost kind of like trippy in how beautiful it actually was. They captured this sense of kind of like splendour and kind of like wonder that you don't see many films kind of actually get a hold of, and this film, it kind of nailed that perfectly. And I can't really ignore the animation of Toothless and his beautiful little new friend, Light's Fury, essentially his girlfriend, if we're being honest. If you've seen the trailer, which you've seen a bit of at the start, you know this film is built around the arc of these two characters in particular, and as you'd expect, it's so much fun to watch them just kind of move around the screen and be so kind of almost like kind of real. I know it sounds weird to say that, but the way that the characters have been animated and given such personality, it's just a joy to watch. There was a particular scene where basically when they meet each other and they're trying to court almost. It's almost like watching an Attenborough documentary as they dance around like beautiful birds of paradise trying to woo each other. And we sat there for about 5-10 minutes. So this scene slowly unfolded. It didn't rush it at all. It was confident and calm enough to let the scene slowly develop. And we sat in the cinema and everyone was sat there totally captivated by this gorgeous, most charismatic little animation. It felt like the kind of Pixar shorts you see before big films, those little 10-15 minute beautiful shorts that just kind of go, make your heart sweet. But this was that kind of in the middle of a DreamWorks film, and that could have been a little story for itself, these two little dragons kind of flirting essentially. But the way that came to a head and the little kind of moments of insecurity from Toothless in particular, it's just so heartwarming to watch. And I've got to mention as well Hiccup and Astrid, a stunningly good couple. If that's the kind of example that films are going to hold up to kids as a strong, loving relationship, then they pretty much absolutely nailed it. They're just so much fun to watch on screen. They take the piss out of each other, they're playful, they're supportive, they're endearing, they're not overly soppy to the point of where it's forced in your face to this unrealistic level of expectation. They're just comfortable around each other, and it's just a happy, lovely payoff for the couple. The film, though, unfortunately isn't without its flaws. It's a very good film that could willingly overlook most of these things, but it wasn't perfect. Maybe the main character, Grimmel, the bad guy in this film, he was largely portrayed really well, but maybe his story, his arc for wanting to do what he didn't quite sit well with how intelligent he was portrayed. I won't kind of spoil it too much, but what he was going for, his motivations, they didn't really kind of just sit well with how intelligent he was as a character. And little things like as well, when we got to the hidden world, maybe we didn't spend enough time there, and also some of the supporting cast were a little bit annoying, if I'm being totally honest. Some of their jokes, particularly in the front half of the film, in the first arc in particular, didn't really land. They were kind of okay, but they were a little bit childish, which kind of contrasted contrasted a little bit with the seriousness almost of the tone of the rest of the film. I say seriousness, but what I mean in general was the seriousness of the themes behind the film, and their kind of slapstick humour was a little bit at odds with the overall message, I would say. But having said that, they weren't that bad. I did get some laughs out of those characters, but they were there and they weren't perfect, and because they had so much screen time, maybe it did detract a little bit from the main characters' kind of emotional payoff. Maybe if they got more time to kind of show their relationship on screen a little bit more, it might have made for that emotional ending just that little bit stronger as a tearjerker. But having said that, it was still a beautiful finale for the characters. Essentially, I'm not sure this film treaded that much new ground really. It was pretty much full of ideas from the first and second film, but that was okay. Maybe it wasn't quite as dark as the second film, but obviously the loss of Toothless's dad, or maybe not quite as magnificent as the first film in terms of the shock of the new, when the first time you saw Toothless and you fell in love with that character, because it's almost impossible to capture that excitement again, given the fact that that charm came from the first time we saw him. But it still managed to entertain, it still managed to enthrall, and most impressively, it still managed to offer this splendour and escapism, and you got lost into the beautifully realised world. What I loved about this film more than anything was how it was a story about adolescence, how it was a story about growing up as a person. But over the course of these three films, Hiccup himself has become from a young, gawpy kind of innocent child to a confident leader, and he starts this film as well as a more established person, the leader of the Isle of Berk, the chief after the passing of his father in the second film, and you can tell that he has more of a faith in himself. But even then, he wasn't perfect, and by the end of the film, you got the sense that he'd grown into a man and a great person overall, and he said some important messages about the importance of kind of letting go and becoming an adult. And it also was a series built around the idea of like ethnic intolerance. The first film in particular was very much on that note in terms of about understanding those that are different to you, and eventually the film even showed the cost of standing up to those bigots, both in a positive and a negative way, how it affects pretty much everyone involved. Unfortunately, it was a lovely little message, and the way that it ended, I won't spoil it, but pretty much everyone in the cinema, myself included, awed out loud. It was so adorable, and a lovely little film to go and see with the family. Yes, it isn't perfect, and maybe it doesn't quite have the emotional punch of, say, Toy Story 3 at the end. For me though, I love How to Train Your Dragon. The whole series, I think, is just so playful, so adorable, and it's a film that has such a simple yet beautiful message behind it. It's a film about supporting each other, it's a film about adolescence, it's a film about coming of age, and it's also a film about tolerance and standing up to those who are targeted because they're different. All these messages behind this film make it something worth watching for families, for kids, for adults as well. I absolutely loved it. It's a great little film. Anyway guys, that's just my thoughts. If you do get to go and see it, and I recommend you do, if you enjoyed the first two in particular, why aren't you already there watching it right now? But anyway, I want to know what you think about it. If you have seen this film, let me know in the comments below. If you're new to this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I've been Stephen, give this video a like, and I'll see you next time.